folks, welcome back to Rule of Thumb, and I'm bringing you a video today amidst everything that's going on, but I thought, you guys have requested this video, and this is a kind of a perfect time for showing how not to waste food, things you can do differently with food, and different ways you can use food. So I thought, if nothing else, this video might be useful at this time. So, what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you how to make the dehydrated carrot and celery powder that I showed you in a previous video. I will link that one up above. So it's a real simple process. I'm going to turn you around, show you what we're doing, and we'll go on from there. Okay folks, it really couldn't be any simpler than this. So I've got a pot of water over here at a rolling boil. I've got a colander full of celery and carrots. It doesn't matter what your ratio is. You can use more carrots, more celery, vice versa, whichever you prefer, because I just continue to mix mine as I go along. So sometimes it's a little bit more celery, and sometimes it's a little bit more carroty. So to me, it really doesn't matter. Make it whatever ratio you want. This is carrots and celery that was probably getting near the end of its life in my refrigerator, which is why I wanted to use it up. And how big or how small you chop it up, again, really doesn't matter. The smaller you chop it, the faster it'll dehydrate. It's pretty much that simple. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in the pot of boiling water. I'm going to bring it back up to a boil, let it go for 5 minutes, and then I'm going to get it on the dehydrator trays, and I'll bring you back when we're at that step. Okay folks, we're back. So my carrots and celery have boiled for the 5 minutes. I have the base of my dehydrator here. I have the Nesco American Harvest food dehydrator and jerky maker. I have the square one, which I have to tell you I bought because it has more surface area to it. But it is harder to find accessories for this one, so you got to kind of weigh your options. I always use these mats in mine just because I think stuff tends to stick to the grates more than it does to this, and this is flexible and I can go like this and the stuff comes off of it, so I tend to use these mats for pretty much everything. And it's really a pretty simple process here. So I'm just using my strainer. I'm going to lay this stuff out. Now, some people will say that the parboiling is not necessary, especially if you are going to I'm lost for words here, blend this up and make a powder out of it, and they're probably right. But what it does do is locks in the color, and you get a brighter colored powder. So for me, it's, I guess, aesthetic would be the word for this. I like it, so I do it. But do you have to? I guess that's up to you. Do your research, see what you think. I put the next tray on, and I keep going. And it is really just this simple. Now, you can put more on each tray than what I'm doing. I'm really spreading mine out. But I know how much I have in here, and I know how many trays I have. So I'm going to spread mine out because, again, it'll dehydrate more quickly. So I'm using less energy if I do that. So, that's my thought process. I have 6 trays on mine, so I have plenty of space to spread this out and help this to go faster. I think I did just drop a piece down in the middle of there. I will tell you, and I usually do this, and I don't know why I'm not doing it today, Mrs. Wolfe at our half-acre homestead puts a little canning jar upside down over this to prevent that from happening, and that is actually a super smart idea. So something to think about. I dropped one over here. That's a good little useful hint. But now I'm over halfway through mine, so I'm not going to worry about it. So Some people asked, what all can you use this in? I use it in soups, stews, spaghetti sauce, meatloaf, hamburgers. I mean, really, honestly, you can mix this into anything. You could make a vegetable dip out of this if you mix this with either sour cream or Greek yogurt, or half and half with Greek yogurt, sour cream, mayonnaise. I mean, any combination of the above. You can put a bunch of different flavors in there. But this will add kind of a little veggie pop to your dip, and it'll rehydrate in there as you're doing it. So that's another way to use this. I mean, there's just a myriad of ways to do this. So I'm going to strain the last of this by pouring the liquid off. You could potentially save this liquid if you wanted to reuse, and use this as the base of a soup, which I may very well do. It's a good start to making like a minestrone or any kind of vegetable soup. You already got the carrot and celery flavor infused into this water. So I'm going to strain this off, and then I will bring you folks back when I'm ready to get this started. Okay folks, we're back. So as you can see, after I strained it, I had very little left in there. Now, for me, my dehydrator blows air from the top down. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put this tray that has the least on it on the bottom. And I'm going to put the rest of the trays on top of it. So it's just an easy swap like that. And that just makes it so, because that'll need the least amount of air getting to it for it to dehydrate. So I got all those. I did strain my liquid, and I'm going to have to let this cool. But that is the liquid that I got. You can see the color in that. So that is essentially carrot and celery stock. I got 2 half-gallon jars. That is going to make a great soup. So that's what I'm going to use it for. I have got my dehydrator lid here, which I'm just going to show you guys. But mine, I've had my dehydrator for a long time. So the buttons on mine are a little worse for the wear, or the indicator sections, I guess. So let me just kind of, I don't know if you guys can see that. Yeah. So you can see like mine started, because I wipe it down all the time, it started to rub off. But it still shows I want 135 degrees for fruits and vegetables, so that's what I'm going to set mine at. I will plug this in, and this will go for anywhere between 12 and 24 hours. I'm waiting for them to get completely dry, and they should not be soft at all. And then I'll bring you folks back when we're at that point, and I'll show you what to do with them from there. Hi there folks, welcome back. So I let these go on the dehydrator for about 15 hours, and you can see it is, get this up here close for you, it's very dry, very crumbly, so this is exactly where I want it. So what I'm going to do is get all of this off of the dehydrator and into my Vitamix. Now, I have a Vitamix, so that's what I'm using, but you could use a Ninja blender, you could use a spice grinder, or like a little coffee mill. You could probably do this in a regular blender as well. I don't know how fine that would make it. I try to get mine ground down pretty fine, so I'm gonna use my Vitamix. So I'm gonna get all this in here, and then I'll bring you folks back when we're ready to go to the next step. Okay, folks, we're back. So you can see the cloud of smoke here. So just be prepared when you take your lid off of whatever you're using to grind it. You're going to get a lot of residual powder. So you're going to want to try and maintain as much of that as you can. This has ground pretty fine. And you can see, okay, so I pulled out, this was my last batch that I did, which you can see is clearly, let me see if I can put these two next to each other for you. Okay, can you see that? I don't know how well it's showing up on camera. The most recent batch is clearly more yellow or green like celery, and this is more orange like carrot. Like I said, I just use what I have on hand, and I will continue to add to this bottle. You can see, shake it up, because it does clump up in there, but I'll continue to add to this bottle, and it just, you know, sometimes it's more carroty, sometimes it's more celery, but it's always good. So that is how I make the dehydrated carrot and celery powder. You could also add, you could dehydrate onions, although it's very strong, so if you're going to do it outside, I recommend. Or if you wanted to, you could just add onion powder to this, or minced onion to it, dried minced onion to it, and you could make this into mirepoix powder if you wanted to. So that's just another option for you. But I just thought I'd bring you along, show you how it turned out. And I will be seeing you folks here in the near future with more videos. So I hope everybody's doing well in these trying times, staying safe, and I wish everybody the best of health and everybody gets through this happy and safe. So, hope you folks enjoyed this video. Come back and see us soon, and as always, I hope you had a great day.